Hi, this is Beverly Foley, and I am going to talk about the hand count that I'm going to be doing in next week in March 25th, so that if anybody wants to know, what we're doing and how we're going to do it, I'm going to go over a few basic things, and I hope some people will come join us. I'd like about 12 people to help on Monday and Tuesday. We picked a couple of precincts. They were all very close in the 2020 race and felt like they would be good to just check. And the main reason, in addition to checking the count versus machines, which everybody would like to do, I think, or should want to do, is to also show that we can hand count and that we can do it in a timely and accurate manner. So there is a bill that Representative Toth has right now that he just put in, that it's HB 5234, and it's going to, try to get machines taken out and do hand counting, hand marking, paper poll books, just the whole thing. So I think it's very important that we start learning how to hand count, so that when and if we get the opportunity, that we're ready to do it. So what I did was last September in 22, there's a couple of counties who didn't have their digital 2020 records. So I went out to these counties and scanned their ballots. They were small counties. So behind me are the ballots I scanned. These are about 1,800 for the whole county, split into precincts, et cetera. So I've been using those to test and to train people with, so that they can get a sense of how to do this. And, so I've come up with a form. This is similar to the Cause of America form, but I thought this flowed a lot better. So you're just going to go down the sheet, and its name at the top, go down the sheet. Each candidate has a column, and you would just do a mark by each vote. And then if there's, do one race at a time. So I haven't done the Cornyn race from 2020, so I'm going to kind of test that one next. But so this is the form we're using. Now I marked up this one to show how this keeps us in place as we're checking we're down in ballots. The numbers allow you to keep your place, because we batch these in batches of 20. And so you do batch 1, batch 2, batch 3. So all increments of 20. So anytime you lose your place, you can go back and find where you are pretty easily. Now I keep a little hand scratch pad of exactly which batch I've done, and make sure that, yes, I do add up to 20, 40, 60, 80. So this is what keeps me in line with not having to go back and recount and figure out, where I was the last time. So what we would do next week in Denton is we'd take the precinct for Prisco, forget what number, but we'd take the ballots out of the box. We would sort them all, kind of like what we did in Tarrant County. We did 65,000, is we're going to split them just in predominantly the Republican, Democrat, and independents. So there's about 3,000. We're going to split those into about 1,500 each. So Democrat, Republican, about 1,500, Democrat, Republican, about 1,500. Because if Toth's bill and any other bill comes through where we go back to precinct only voting, in that particular bill that Toth has, it would be just a maximum of 2,000 voters in a precinct. So if, in order not to do this precinct Frisco that has 3,000, we're going to split it down and do it like if it was 2,000 or less. So we're going to do it in accordance of what maybe sometime in the future the bill would give us. So we would split those, and then we would take the ballots next week, and that we'll put them into increments of 20 paperclip together. Then once we do that, each person that comes and volunteers will be given a race to do. And they will take each race and go through each 20 paper clipped batch and go through and mark this form. Then when you get through with the 20, like the other form showed, you're going to just make sure you haven't lost your place and that you are still on track with this. So we will do that, and each race, and by the time you get through the 1,500 for that one race, then if we don't have enough people, then you might do another race depending on how many people we get to come help that day or 2 days. So let me switch to this, and I'll get a couple of batches to. Okay, so I'm back, and what I've done is taken one batch of the 20 ballots that we counted out, and I'm doing the corn and race. So I fan them out like this so that when I'm trying to flip them, they're easy to flip, and so I can just flip and mark. So I'm gonna just do a batch of the 20, just so that you get an idea of how fast this can be. So I'm just gonna go down here to the corn and race, and it'll just be like, this is Hager. Corning. Now, we don't have to have but one person, because this is just an easy, just mark and flip. And you can have watchers just to be verifying that they're being marked correctly. And they'll be recording it, so you'll have a video recording of the process. As we go here, this is a very Republican county. So as you can see, most of these are Cornyn. But the more that you spread the sheets out, the easier it is to do that. And of course, the very first one I did, I got off while I was talking. So that you do have to pay attention while you're doing this. But anyway, so that's the general idea. And then I would take my sheet here and say, okay, we have, that's why I know I'm off. So I would say Cornyn is 19 and Hager got 2. So instead of adding up to 20, like it should have, it added up to 21. So my mistake, but gives you an idea, but I would pay more attention as I was going through this. Then after we were to do the whole election, we would take these and count these up to like take all the Cornyns and count like we did in Tarrant County, and we would count by 20s and do the whole race and say, okay, Cornyn equals this with paper ballots, and then we would take our sheets and go, Cornyn totals this on the paper tally sheets, and then if they match, we're good. If not, of course, it's recount. But so anyway, that gives you an idea of kind of the process, and so it's a very simple process, and it seems to work very well if I was paying attention. So anyway, give you an idea, and I will send this out, and that way if anybody has questions, they get an idea of what this process is. Thank you. Bye-bye.